Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the Coach Dave Academy YouTube channel. My name is Emery. We're here for week 8 of the Porsche Cup Car Series at Road America. Let's get into the hot lap. So let's get into the hot lap guide then for the Road America circuit. So starting the lap off here then down towards turn 1. Just making sure we stick to the left-hand side as turn 1 is a right-hander. And then we're slamming the brakes on just in front of these 4 cones on the left-hand side. You've also got this bit of tarmac as well as a braking reference. For turn 1, you don't really want to use too much of the brake pedal as it's quite a high-speed corner. So you don't want to risk locking up the tyres at all. About 55% or so on the brake pedal, down to 4th gear, and then doing all your trail braking before we get to the apex. Just play that through for you. Okay, down to 4th gear, and then as we get to the curb, and apex was back on the throttle, let the car run nice and wide. Try to avoid the grass here. Any part of the green part of grass is bad, so don't touch that as you're getting off track. You can touch this little bit, it's almost gravel, I'm not really sure what it is, but that's fine to use. Just watch out for any of the green stuff on the outside as you'll pick up an off track. Down towards turn 2, downhill braking, it's just a bit trickier, have to brake slightly earlier. It's very easy to go slightly wide here, miss the apex, and you can lose, a tenth or two. So just make sure we're not braking too late. You're really braking at the end of this wall on the left-hand side as a reference. So just slamming the brakes on just after that. Down to 3rd gear, and then just follow the curb round on the inside. Again, let the car run out nice and wide on the curb, just avoiding the grass, so don't pick up an off track. And then down towards turn 3 for a big braking zone. Again, downhill, just make sure we're staying as straight as we can. And then getting on the brake pedal just in line with number 3 on the right-hand side. And then opening up the circuit as much as we can here. So you can see we're pretty much completely off the track here. Again, there's no off track for this, so you can use this to your advantage. But you can see we're kind of breaking a straight line, and then just at the last second, we're just opening up the steering slightly, just to open up the corner, give us a better run and a better exit up towards turn 4. Just show you what that braking zone looks like in the Delta app, guys. So this is what turn 3 looks like in the Delta app, guys. So as usual, you've got the throttle brake trace here, all of that fun stuff as usual. So as I said, it's a downhill braking zone, so it's quite tricky. It's very easy to lock up your front left here. So you want to make sure you're nice and smooth as usual on the brake pedal, and it's just ramping up to that peak pressure, just under 70% or so, and then just trailing off it You can see we just turned slightly to the right as well, just before we get to the apex, just open up the corner as well. And then as we're starting to turn in, we're just releasing the brake pedal just so we get a bit more of the nose in. So we've still got a bit of brake pressure on just as we're turning, just to help rotate the car. And then release the brake and onto the throttle. Again, just not going 100% straight away, just staggering it slightly, just so we don't pick up too much wheel spin on the exit. But anyway, back on with the hot lap. So back on with the hot lap then. Up towards turn 4, just got to be careful we don't lock the rear tyres as you can pop over the crest here, and the front left as well. So not braking too hard here, about 40% you can see on the brake pedal. You can't really see too much as well as you pop over the crest. So, I mean, at this point here, you still can't really see the apex. So make sure you do your practice and you know where your apex is. Keep it in third gear, just to minimize wheel spin on the exit. And we'll go back outside the car. Pull it back to the left-hand side then. Slight lift for this one, don't need to touch the brake pedal at all. Just make sure we're keeping it within track limits again. And then back to the right-hand side. This is another quite tricky braking zone, just as it's slightly downhill again. It's quite bumpy as well. So it's really easy to lock up the front left tyre as well. So again, just about 60-70% on the brake pedal, down to second gear. He's using all of the curb on the apex and then letting the car run out. Don't really need to use much of the exit curb. Just make sure we're putting it back to the left-hand side for the carousel, I believe it's called. Now this corner tends to go on forever in this car because there's not much aero. So you're just really just between the brake and the throttle, just trying to kind of minimize the understeer as you're turning. You kind of, at this midpoint of the corner, you want to be quite wide, but you can see at the start of the entry, just hugging the inside white line, just letting the car run nice and wide. And this is to set us up for the exit. And then once you can see the curb on the inside, which is at this point here, you can kind of get on the throttle once you can feel that you've not got too much more understeer in the car. And then completely flat on the exit, use all of the curb as much as you can. And then for this right-hander, again, just slight lifts, no need to touch the brake pedal. And again, keeping it within track limits on the exit. Shortest line of resistance to the next braking zone. And then braking as straight as we can for this right-hander. We're braking just in front of this number 4 on the left-hand side. And then down to third gear. Turning in quite early for this one. So you kind of want to apex in line. There's this kind of wall that sticks out. That's where you're aiming to apex at, really. Down to third gear, and then bang, straight on the apex there. Let the car run nice and wide. You've got this massive curb you can use on the outside as well. So obviously use that to your advantage. You can get on the throttle quite nice and early for this one. So already, once we touch the curb, we're back on the throttle. Let the car run out nice and naturally. And then heading up the hill, just making sure we stick it to the right-hand side as much as we can and open this one up. On the curb, again, massive lift, but no need to touch the brake. You can use all of this runoff as well on the exit. And then back to the left-hand side, down to third gear. Big trail into this last corner. It's quite a long braking zone. You can see we're holding onto the brake pedal all the way to the apex. And then again, back on the throttle, using all the runoff on the exit. And that will complete a lap of the Road America circuit. So that was a hot lap guide then for the Road America circuit here for week 8 in the Porsche Cup Car Series on iRacing. Mine has been my Emery, and this has been Coach Dave Academy on YouTube. Check out all the latest data packs on CoachDaveAcademy.com and all the latest hot lap guides as well on this channel. But other than that, I will see you next week for week 9, guys. So take care.